Today we're going to break down a really famous psychological experiment. And trust me, it reveals something kind of fascinating, maybe even a little unsettling about all of us. It's called the Asch Experiment, and it really gets to the heart of why we sometimes follow the crowd, even when the crowd is totally, obviously wrong.
Okay, so to kick things off, let's try this out for ourselves. It's super simple. You see the line on the left, right? Now look at the three lines on the right, A, B, and C. Which one of those three is the exact same length as the one on the left?
Yeah, pretty easy, isn't it? The answer is clearly C. This isn't a trick question, there's no optical illusion going on here. It's just a simple test of what you can see. Or is it?
So, this is pretty much what the psychologist Solomon Asch did way back in the 1950s. He'd get a group of people together in a room, and he'd tell them they were all taking part in a simple vision test, just like the one we just did. The whole procedure was incredibly straightforward. The person running the test would show everyone a card with the lines. Then, each person in the room, one by one, would say out loud which line they thought was the right match. All you have to do is wait for your turn and give your answer. Seems simple enough. But then, after a couple of rounds where everything goes just as you'd expect, something weird starts to happen. A conflict pops up that has absolutely nothing to do with how well you can see. So picture this. A new card goes up. Again, to you, the answer is just completely obvious. But the first person to give their answer says something that's clearly wrong. Let's say the answer is C without a doubt, but they confidently say A. At first, you might think, okay, that person's tired, or maybe their eyes are just bad. But then the second person goes, and they also say A. And then the third person says A. And then the fourth. One after another, every single person in the room is giving the same wrong answer. And now, it's your turn. What do? Your own eyes are screaming one answer at you, but this entire group of people is unanimously saying something totally different. Do you stick with what you see and risk being the one person who stands out, or do you just go along with the group?
Well, that exact moment of decision is what this whole thing was about, because, as it turns out, there was a huge twist. The test wasn't what it seemed at all.
And here's the reveal. You are the only real participant in the room. Every single other person, they're all actors working with the experimenter. They were specifically told to give the wrong answer on purpose. So, you see, the experiment was never really about judging the length of lines. Asch wasn't testing eyesight. He was testing something much more interesting. How much social pressure from a group could make someone question their own reality. And what he discovered has become one of the most famous findings in psychology. He revealed just how powerful this force called conformity really is in our lives. This really boils down the internal struggle, right? On one side, you have what the participant could clearly, objectively see was the correct answer. But on the other side, you have what they actually said out loud. And a shocking number of times, they went with the group's wrong answer.
So what is this force at play? Well, it has a name: conformity. It's that natural human tendency to adjust our own attitudes, our beliefs, and even our behaviors to match up with the people around us, to fit in with the group's norms. So the huge, kind of jarring takeaway from Asch's experiment was this: a surprisingly high number of people will knowingly ignore what's right in front of their faces and give an answer they know is wrong, just to avoid the discomfort of disagreeing with everyone else. Now, I know this experiment happened decades ago, but the lesson here is more relevant now than ever. Let's talk about why this still matters so much today.
What this all means is that our fundamental human desire to belong, to fit in, can be an incredibly powerful motivator. Sometimes it's so powerful it can literally make us distrust our own senses. You see this everywhere. Think about a meeting at work where nobody wants to criticize a bad idea that the boss likes. Or maybe a time you stayed quiet among friends instead of sharing a different opinion. That's the Asch effect playing out in real life. And that really leaves us with a question to think about, because this isn't just about some people in an experiment from the 50s. It's about all of us. So just think for a second. When was the last time you found yourself just agreeing with something? Not because you believed it, but because it was just easier to go along with the group.